Testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3. Calling all investors, all Black people who want to build wealth. Step on into the Black Financial Channel. We're going to talk about the stock market. We're going to break it down and discuss what's been going on. We're going to do this very quickly. So hit the thumbs up button, share, subscribe button. We're going to get started on the Black Financial Channel right now. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'm your friendly neighborhood finance professor. At the Black Financial Channel, we talk about economics and wealth many times a day, sometimes as much as 10 times a day, under one condition. The condition is not that you have to be Black. You don't have to be Black to be here. We love everybody, but we do live by the B1 philosophy. That means the Black community is our top priority. That B1 also means that we believe Black people will be number one when it comes to wealth and economics and wealth building and everything in between by the year 2070. It's a 50-year plan that we have for the Black community. And then thirdly, a B1 means that we understand we must be one in order to be successful. So if you agree with that philosophy, put a hashtag B and the number one in the chat, hashtag B1. I see you, Shannon, Quincy, and Nola. Give me 1 second. I got to turn my phone off, but hit that thumbs up button and I'll come right back. Give me 1 second. That was actually my alarm going off to remind me that on drboycetv.com, we're actually going to do a discussion. I'm going to talk to Madam President about the BET Awards and the economic implications of the buck breaking agenda. Y'all know how I do. Y'all know what it is. I talk about the economics from every angle, not just 401ks and IRAs, but I also talk about how culture affects your wealth. And so in about 15 minutes, Madam President, she's one of the smartest, best spoken word artists in the country and a well-known, respected public figure. We are going to talk about the BET Awards last night and the economic implications of the buck breaking agenda and why certain behavior is incentivized in our community in a way that drains wealth out of Black people. So we're going to do that on drboycetv.com right after this is done. But let's talk about the stock market. Give me a yes or no. How many of you made money today in the stock market? Give me a yes or no if you made money today so I can congratulate you if you did well. Well, I hope you made money. And the reason I hope you made money is because today the stock market did pretty well. The Dow Jones Industrial Average hit another record today. That's a big deal. The S&P 500 keeps breaking record after record. Right now, it's the best time ever to be an investor because money is just being made hand over fist. U.S. stock index futures, according to CNBC, were little changed during overnight trading, but the stocks rose to a new high during regular trading on Monday amid strength in big tech. So big tech is driving the price movements right now. The S&P 500 advanced 0.23%, registering its third straight record close. The NASDAQ gained nearly 1%. Posting its fifth positive session in the last 6 and also closed at a new high. The Dow, however, dipped 151 points amid a pullback of Boeing and Chevron, among other names. Quote, markets are off to a strong start this year, says LPL Financial Chief Market Strategist Ryan Dietrich. However, most of these gains came early in the year and many stocks have stagnated over recent months. He added, Dietrich believes investors should stay overweight in stocks relative to bonds, but pointed to some concerns in the market, including elevated valuations. So what he's saying is that the big concern right now with the stock market is that the prices have gotten so high that some wonder if they can go much higher. And in some sectors, that's certainly true. In some areas, the stock prices are not going to go higher. There's just no way. The multiples, what they look at, the price earnings multiples are through the roof and insane. And it's hard to stay high. It's like, somebody smokes crack and they go as high as they can possibly be. They ain't going to get no higher. They're probably going to go down, right? So right now the market's on crack and in steroids at the same time. So you've got a hell of a stock market in front of you. Hopefully you've made most of your money to this point. If not, excuse me, there are still some buying opportunities, but you really got to, be in the market so that you can benefit from these price increases. Now, what else is going on here? They say growth stocks continue to outperform on Monday with the Russell 1000 rising nearly 1%, while its value counterpart finished in the red. So growth stocks, some of these high PE stocks that you might have bought into, whether it's like a Tilray or I'm trying to think here. Another one, Context Logic and a few others. Context Logic became a meme stock, but I invested in it. The ticker symbol is WISH, WISH. I invested in it because Context Logic is a little bit different from a regular meme stock. The other meme stocks typically have valuations that far exceed their fundamental value, whereas Context Logic was considered to be a good investment even before it became a meme stock. So to me, meme stocks themselves can be a little bit dangerous, although you can make money if you sell the options. I like to sell the calls on the meme stocks, but the best meme stock to me is a meme stock that's been inflated, but it's actually a quality company. In poker, we refer to that as a semi bluff. A full bluff is when you have nothing and you pretend like you have something great, whereas a semi bluff means you have something good, but you pretend like it's something great, so that if your bluff gets called, you're still going to be okay. Right. So so I hope you get what I'm saying, the semi bluff, because I'm in Vegas. So that maybe that's why I'm thinking about these particular examples. But these companies that are meme stocks that are quality companies are what I would call a semi bluff, where if the companies go flat, if the Reddit crowd runs away and leaves the company back to its fundamental value, then some of these stocks are still going to have a good price. Context Logic is a quality company regardless. The problem is companies like AMC have no value. AMC has almost no fundamental value. So if AMC goes back to its main value, then it's going to be garbage. It's literally going to be worth $1.50, $5, $8 or something like that. And I told you guys that I'm not a big believer in long-term investing in AMC. The momentum behind AMC is starting to deflate. A lot of the prices of the call options, which I believe is a huge measuring stick for the sentiment behind the stock, those prices are starting to drop. I have a buddy that was selling call options on AMC and making a killing. He said, man, I've never made this much money in my life. He's like, thank you. I play Xbox with him, and he said, man, this is amazing. I've never made this much money in a short period of time. But then he hit me up recently, and he noticed that the values of the call options have actually dropped. So the speculators have left town. So effectively, you're really seeing kind of the energy of the market kind of moving to different sections. And it's a matter of paying attention and following the money. So if you could, please hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, hit that right now. Also, don't forget that if you want free stuff from the Black Business School, if you want to get started, get on our email list. We will email you tons of free information that you and your family can use to build wealth for the next 200 years. Just one little step can change your family forever. Feel free to go to firstsharestock.com. You can get started totally free. Of course, we make offers to you because that's what a business does, but you don't have to take any of the offers. Everything you see you can jump into for free. And then if you want to see something else, then we've got more stuff available to you if you want to go deeper. All right. So the next thing I want to read to you is the rest of this article. They said that, quote, the breakout to new highs in growth was the catalyst to push the S&P 500 to new highs, says MKM Partners Chief Market Technician JC O'Hara. We see the situation where growth may continue to outperform value in the weeks ahead. Now, the other thing that's really interesting, I've been paying very close attention to, is Facebook and Google are really afraid right now. These companies are mortified over the fact that the Biden administration just appointed a young law professor out of Columbia. She's about 32 years old. She's the new head of the FTC, and I think her name is Nita Khan. I don't know why that name comes to mind. Maybe I got it wrong. But anyway, this young law professor has written articles to say that she thinks big tech should be broken up. And so Facebook and Google and all these big tech companies that are gigantic, Apple, even Microsoft to some extent, are now paying close attention to whether or not this woman's going to follow up on her previous language in terms of basically making what I think is a logical argument that these companies are just way too big. I think these companies should be chopped up. Basically, you have a country that used to be a democracy, but now we're a technocracy. Now technology companies are deciding who gets access to freedom of speech. Tech companies are deciding who's going to win elections, and they also control most of the wealth. So effectively, I think these companies should be chopped up before they get too big. Now, here's the good news, though. The interesting thing about this, though, is that when they look at the valuations of Facebook and they say, okay, what would happen if Facebook got chopped up? What they find is that Facebook has a ton of untapped value. Facebook hasn't fully monetized things like Oculus effectively as of yet. They haven't fully monetized platforms like WhatsApp and Instagram as much as they can. So there's a lot of untapped value there. And there's some who actually argue that if you chop Facebook up, you would actually have three companies that were worth more than the current company's worth right now. So, am I going to say that this is a good thing or a bad thing? I think chopping those companies up would be a good thing for America. What would it do to your stock price? That part I cannot say for sure, but just keep an eye on that, because that antitrust conversation is going to be a really important discussion over the next several years. So, anyway. Excuse me. You guys know on Tuesday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern, we always talk about we get together and we talk about stocks in the Black Stock Market program. The first month costs you nothing. There's 5 years of powerful content that you can go through with your family, and so you can feel free to go sign up at the blackstockmarketprogram.com. We even have one lifetime membership where you pay one time and you have access forever. And so if you want to ask me questions directly and make sure I answer those questions, feel free to go to the blackstockmarketprogram.com. Julie asks, I thought I read somewhere that the Chinese have majority shares in AMC. Is that true? I don't know if that's true or not, Julie, but I do know that the Chinese have a direct interest in controlling American media, because they know that media can influence sentiment. And so when countries are trying to gain a leg up on each other, one of the things they do is similar to what the Americans do, which is they will go and they will buy as many TV and radio stations as they possibly can. As many as you'll sell, they'll buy them. And the Chinese do have a huge influence on American media. So, and that's just the beginning. I think they have a really powerful 100-year plan for their community, just like we should have one for the Black community. And that power is going to lead to world domination. Just today, my Uber driver was from China. And I said, I shared with him the one Chinese sentence that I know really well. And I said, 我会说一点普通话, and that basically means I speak a little Mandarin. And they always say the same thing, and they always pretend. They always like to lie and tell me that I speak well when they know that I speak crappy. So then I say 可是我说了不好, which means but I speak very poorly. And then they lie to me again. They say no, 说得很好, like you speak very well. And so Chinese are super polite, but don't let the kindness fool you, because when it comes to collective energy and collective powernomics, the Chinese are the best in the world at being absolutely gangster when it comes to protecting their economic future and the economic future of their children. They do not play when it comes to making sure that their children are the best educated on earth. They do not play when it comes to making sure that their wealth comes back to home. They do not play when it comes to going out to countries all around the globe and setting themselves up for the next 100, 200 years. So one of the things I did mention to this Chinese Uber driver today is I said, I told my brother to make sure my niece knows Chinese, because within the next 100 years, that's going to be owned by China. America's doing all the wrong things. China's doing a lot of the right things. This is not putting China on a pedestal. They do have some issues in terms of being incredibly anti-democratic. But when it comes to collective and group action, you might want to pay attention to that country, because that country is going to be dominating everything by the time your grandkids are on this earth. So just be ready for the future, because the future is coming and it ain't going to wait for nobody. So I'm about to get out of here, guys. I'm going right over to drboycetv.com in 5 minutes, and I'm going to be on there with Madam President, and we're going to talk about the economics behind the BET Awards and the buck breaking agenda, and what in the weaponization, as Dr. Wesley Muhammad refers to, the weaponization of hip hop, and how that has come to harm the ability of Black people to build the community that we need. In fact, I have an acronym called FAME. FAME stands for the basically connects all the elements, or many of the elements, of creating a good culture. FAME stands for family, accountability, masculinity, and education. Family, accountability, masculinity, and education. And basically, if you look at the buck breaking agenda, if you look at some of the media that's being promoted to Black people by white-owned companies, you see that it's very anti-family. It's very anti-accountability. It says just go have sex with whoever you want and do whatever you want. There's no responsibility. It's anti-masculinity. That's why they'll gladly put a Black man in a dress on TV. And it's also anti-education. That's why they promote the most ignorant artists that they possibly can, when there are a lot of intelligent artists out there. So if you go to drboycetv.com, I'll put the URL on the screen so you guys can see it. You can go right there and you can hang out and join that conversation. I'm going to type it on the screen where you guys can go and follow the discussion over there, if that's your kind of thing. If you just want to hear the financial stuff, you can just bounce on out. But if you want to come and join those deeper conversations about culture and economic culture, and what the reasons why our community still struggles, feel free to hang out with us on drboycetv.com. We love you, but we ain't scared to fight you if you come over here with that nonsense. So let's just be strong. Let's be together, be one all the way. Love you guys. Have a good day. Please hit that thumbs up button, share button, subscribe button on your way out the door, and I shall see you guys soon. Take care. Peace.